Hello, friends. This is E. Giuliano. I'm here to share with you the Bitcoin price chart. It's the 9th of January. It's a Sunday. And I want to zoom in, take a look at some ideas based on the trendline touch points, Neowave ideas, as well as just do an update on where we are with the BTC price chart, a little more zoomed in. So I'm going to share the screen. And let's hope it works out nicely. Yes, it does. All right, here we go, nice and fluid. This is a daily price chart. And we are looking at this potential flat pattern. So those of you joining, thanks for being here. I hope this is informative, educational, entertaining for you. This is the basic consideration. This is the number one idea count right now playing out, it seems. So we're going to hold on to this one. Basically a 3-3-5 pattern. If you want to think more about it, just watch the 6th of January video for more. Now we're going to zoom into this C wave, impulse wave, and see where we are surrounding all of this. So let's get into it. I'm going to jump in here and look at where we are. So potentially we have made one wave down, a second wave corrective. Now we're within this third wave, whether we've completed the 3 of the 3 or we are still working on the 3 of the 3, not very important. But the general sense is we'll make it to some sort of finality on this intermediate 3 wave here of the impulse for the C, and then reach some sort of 4 and make our way to the final 5 of the C wave before the next move higher. So what does that mean? Well, that means we are nearing some substantial turning point, whether it's to a smaller degree as the end of this 3 wave is moving into the 4 wave, or if it's the end of this bigger red marked 3 wave moving into the 4 wave. We're reaching towards that anytime now. Looks like this week will be an interesting week coming. And if we look at it on the daily chart, it does look like we have potentially completed or are so close to completing this 3 wave. If we want to take it as potentially an extended wave of this 1 wave internally, internal 1618 extension of the 1 wave. Now, that's a daily chart. On the 4 hourly, it shows a little bit different. And you start to see some subdivisions into here, the intricacy of this wave, and it starts to look like actually maybe it should continue a little further, or something just doesn't look right. But at the same time, one thing I'm noticing is nothing really plays out perfectly textbook, and I think that's okay. So I think it really is just a sense. We use the sense of intuition and then some of the logic points, and the trend lines will help us. That's where we're going to get into the 0 to 2 trend line, and that'll help us define that 2 to 4 trend line and that kind of idea. So as we zoom in here a little closer, we have made this potential now with the movement towards a bit more positive momentum. You could argue that there's some potential bullish divergence here between the price and the MACD. So in that case, why not? I mean, it could be speaking towards the end of this 3rd wave, towards a bigger corrective 4th wave here. RSI moving towards oversold again, looks like making lower lows on the RSI, whereas the price here was so on the RSI, it's not quite giving the same divergence as the MACD yet, right? So we'll see. Anyway, so we're going to use more so the price action, but just to consider where the indicators are. Okay, I think that whenever this daily price chart is turning a more positive momentum, I think that's mainly and moving in towards something green, there's a good chance we're getting into towards the, again, this explosive part of the second wave here towards the upside. Same idea with the fourth wave, we'll get some green probably. So that's kind of the idea there. But I do overall still have the feeling that we're completing this third wave, moving to a fourth, or we still need to complete this third wave, then to a fourth, and we still have some sort of fifth to get into here because we do have a subdivision enough here. And we are seeing the ratio play out that's favorable. So yeah, I think we'll get it into here. And then it'll be interesting to watch it play out. I hope you stick around. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely make sure to do that. And hit the bell, like button, whatever else you need to do. And share this video if you think it's useful. Okay, let's get rid of this trend line. All right, yeah, we have that interesting channel happening here. These are the closing prices on the daily using the Bitstamp price chart. So potentially we have this sort of low to low trend line here, which would be act like some sort of 0 to 2 trend line. And from there, you know, that was taken because, oh no, don't do this to us. You really want to do this to us? Nah, you don't want to do this to us. Well, might have to end it here, and that's a shame. We'll see. Stick around. Maybe you need to fast forward this. Press the fast forward button, skip ahead button, and see if that's the case. All right, do that. Let's see. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to refresh that. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. I hope this works out. Otherwise, we'll see what we need to do around all of this. It was giving the getaurox terminal was giving a little bit of a challenge earlier in terms of staying connected. So here we are. Looks like we're loaded up. There we go. Yep, that's right. So let's get back into it. And let me just re-enable the share screen. Thanks for sticking through this. Okay, here we are, we're back. If you skipped ahead, well, good for you. Okay, and if you stuck through it, oh, come on. You're gonna do this? No, they're not gonna do this, okay. Oh, it's gonna play one of these situations. Anyway, we're getting a little slow right here, feels like. Either way, okay, so we were talking about this 0 to 2 trend line, okay? And where we get that from is really, we had this trend line here, which would be like a 2 to 4 trend line. And then once this wave breaks, it's pretty convincing that we are done this local wave here, okay? And so then we can now find that next trend line. We got that trend line. It's a full wave here, so we get this basic low to low trend line here. Okay, fine. 0 to 2 type of trend line. And from there now, what we're looking to do is we have the 0 to 2 trend line. That's going to be helpful when we're looking for this bigger degree 3 to 4 move. When we see this 3 move completing, moving towards this trend line here, we can be pretty sure we're in the bigger 4 wave, especially if it starts breaking this trend line here. Let's say into the towards the end of January or whatever, starts breaking this trend line, maybe even sooner than that, last week of January. That's possible. And that would also be breaking this 43,000 level. Now we'll see where things get in terms of retracements, but for now we're considering here that this trend line here, this trend line here will be either met and as used as support or even broken. But either way, I think again by then it'll be that'll be telling us that we are moving maybe from a 3 to a 4, or we are reaching towards the end of the 4, or we're in the 3 to 4 wave, the 4th wave now, and then we'll be looking for that 5th wave after that. And I do believe that this level, that's this level here of a 43.5 or so will be relatively pivotal level, maybe a little higher on a daily. Maybe it has to get all the way to a 45 or a 46 on the 3 to 4 level before coming down again. That is possible. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Then that's relating to these price levels, turn resistance, previously support. So having said that, that's the basic idea for this longer term trend line that we're going to be watching play out, okay, to figure out this move there. But from before that, we can consider it within this smaller degree here. And so let's do that. Let's go a little bit more closely in, okay. And let's say, for example, let's say that if we are, regardless of whether we're in the 3 or not, let's stay a little bit zoomed out. I don't want to go too deep into the 4 hour and the 1 hour yet. So let's say we have one of these trend lines here. Now we can say, all right, with some good clarity, we can say, okay, if this move here starts breaking this wave, then there's a good chance that we are done the 3rd wave. We're in the 4th wave, and we can be expecting probably a 5th wave. And then from there, we're going to get that 4th wave. Make sense? On the bigger degree, from this 3 to this 4 here, that type of idea. Yeah, so we've done a 1 per se, a 2 per se. We're within a 3 per se, whether we're done or not. We're not entirely clear yet. And then the 4 per se, the 5, and then this 3 to 4 on the bigger degree, and then the 5, wherever that's going to lead us. And we will keep carving that out in the future. All right. Yeah. Okay, so maybe what we'll do next is say, okay, good, we've carved out a nice 0 to 2 trend line for this current wave impulse that we are in. Yeah, that's a good one for now, contrast color. So yeah, let's keep that in mind, all right? And after that, let's go to a 4 hour just to take a closer look and say, wow, we've got a lot of lines here. So let's keep a few things out of sight. Let's get rid of this one for now. I'm not interested in this potential line. We have this bigger 0 to 2 trend line. Let's keep that on the daily. Let's get into those settings. Go to the visibility, keep it on the daily. Good. We've got this trend line here. I think we are going to scrap that for now. Yep. And then we'll zoom in here. And we'll say, okay, we'll keep this one. This was on the daily settings. Good. So we'll keep this red one on the daily. It's a type of 0 to 2 trend line. And so again, did we finish this 3rd wave? Arguably, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when we look at some of the properties of it, it doesn't quite. Yeah, it fits. I mean, if this is a 3, then it works. It's not completely terrible. You know, it's not even, the 3rd would not even be 61.8% of the 1st. But having said that, the 5th would be about 38.2%. So having said that, it does work. So in that case, I'm going to say right now, there's a really good chance we're done this 3rd wave and we're within the 4th wave. Where's that going to take us? I think it's going to take us up here to this 44,000 level, 43.5, 44,000 level here. Let's go back. Yeah, that's something like this. That feels right on the 4 hour price chart for a turnaround. Let's boxy brown it in because I'm going to use these support levels here. You see these support levels? I'll use those as well as part of our box action. And we'll pull it across and say, okay, this is a target for this intermediate 4 here. And from there, like, where is that going to bring us time-wise? Somewhere around like a week or 10 days or something maybe. Could be. Let's see. I mean, based on this 0 to 2 trend line, could be, yeah, like the end of this week. This week could be a bit sideways, choppy to start, maybe a little up as well. Maybe it'll break through this line very quickly. Actually, having said that, this is an impulse move. I mean, this 1 to 2 took quite a while. Let's get some alternation here, and maybe this 3 to 4 will be quicker. Whether we break this 0 to 2 trend line or just bounce off of it, we'll see. Yeah, let's look for a break though. Break to the upside, 43, 44,000, and then dump down again towards the 40,000, finish off the 5. Maybe it'll hit down towards into the 39s with a wick and create more fear. Maybe by the time it gets to the 4, the greed and fear index will be more favorable and stuff and have more room to go back into more fear, you know? And then from there, it'll start moving up again. And yeah, and then we're nearing the end of this potential C wave here with one more impulse down towards the 5th. All right. And by then we are into February, potentially. Cool, so that's 0 to 2 and 2 to 4 trend line discussions. And I hope that's served you well. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm going to, oh, we haven't, this was a different chart that we ended up loading. Anyway, whatever, no big deal. We can come back into this. I'm gonna save this as most recent daily. All right, we'll just leave it there. And that leaves us with what on the daily? Yeah, I like this. This is a good, this is cleaner. It's what we need right now. We've got our 0 to 2 trend line potentially here. We're good to go. Awesome. Now from there, I would like to just take a look at a potential let's go to BTC daily action, because on BTC daily action, boom, yes, good. We have, I've been able to carve out a potential significant price regression line. It's a linear line, yeah, on a logarithmic chart, but it works well. It works very well. So what is the main idea of this line on a daily? And it works a bit on the weekly as well. And you know what, let's say goodbye to you for now. Say goodbye to you for now. Let's say goodbye to you and goodbye to you. A couple of key trend lines we've used, you know, most recently, you might remember this trend line here having been broken to the downside quite significantly. But we've had also this downtrending support also broken to the downside now. And I wanted to recognize, you know, I saw, all right, what are some other regression lines or support resistance lines? We have an easily visible horizontal line right here. So this is a key level here for, and that is around the 40,500, 40.7, whatever it's going to be there. That zone in between the 61.8 and the 78.6, you know, makes a lot of sense to have a turnaround here of a significant degree. No problem. And that would hold this type of regression line. And I'll show you as we go a little further back where else this regression line touches. But I also, I wanted to notice though, that this orange level here is a significant level. So maybe that is, in my opinion, where we end this 3 wave, you know, get some return, some bounce back, some relief. But then I do see eventually breaking this kind of horizontal level here, just to really, the market has to really freak itself out hard enough. And I think it's within this price action here, and maybe around this, oops, where are we? Yeah, things are really slow today. Yeah, we got one of these again. Okay, you might want to skip forward again. This is I don't really want to stop this. This is good analysis so far, and I really want to bring this regression line discussion to you. It's unfortunate that we're getting these bumps, but just do a skip ahead, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. if you're still here, just hanging through it all, that's cool. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm not going to edit this and change anything. It's just, there we go. Come on. This is the last thing I want to talk about, is just this trend line. So bear with me. I hope this is working for you. Good. You know, it's kept everything. Okay, cool. So the thought is here on this horizontal level is that, yeah, we break it. But then I guess, yeah, I'm talking about this type of price action here. But you know what? Ultimately, the 88.6 retracement would be such a bullish turnaround zone, considering all of the, how do you say, all of the talk about harmonics and 88.6 and things like that, but because of course it's showing that, it's showing that. Anyway, okay, just playing. All right, so now let's move on to this trend line talk. So the idea is that we would potentially be breaking through this horizontal level on the next impulse down. Okay, and doing so means we would probably break down this trend line. I was looking, you know, I was thinking about this down sloping regression trend line we've broken below it. And I thought, okay, I do remember that the beginning of the move here, if we channel it on a weekly level, we do meet this price point, but it is reaching towards the lower end, and it might be breaking at any time now. So having said that, what I want to recognize is that I saw, okay, we have this touch point here, and it could confluence here. Look, there's this bit of an angulation. So I did that. I just extended the line to this, and I saw, well, what happens when we go back? And when we go back, I saw this point of resistance and these points of support being very well confluenced. And sure, we broke right through it there. But back here, we had, and again, I believe these lines, as we go further back, it's going to be a little less confluent, but I do believe these lines act as zones and as zones of force. So if you can see, we had such a strong move up, and it was around this line that it hesitated down, and then it broke through and then came back down to find some sort of supportive force here and came back higher. So I do consider this line to be a relatively significant line, like on an intermediate type of consideration, because even here it chopped through the line. It was, you know, price was coming down and it stopped here and chopped here and then eventually lost it. So it is a relatively significant zone, even here and even here. And this back here is in 2013. Okay, so yeah, it didn't really do anything there, but here gave us some resistance type of choppiness. So yeah, and then again here. So, and again, this is not perfectly aligned, but when I did do my best to align it, it does bring us these type of touch points. And so one thing I want to recognize is this was a big, what people call a mid-cycle correction. So that's interesting. I also want to recognize that there was times when the price was above it and then came down below. Okay. So in that sense, we continue forward to 2017. And at this portion of 2017, we see price went above it. Interestingly, we're going to get to here. Guess when that is? This is the June to July correction, sometimes called a mid-cycle correction for the 2017 run. And having said that, you know, that is the bigger correction within this move here. And then previously to that, we had the 2013 significant correction zone here. Okay, fine. And then we make it through, we're above, we come back down below, we get a bit above and come back down below. And each time there's significant time spent below. In this case here, we've made it back above. It's found some support here and now potentially finding support here but also very potentially finding some sort of a move below there. And from there, I mean, does the price stay low for a while and then get higher? Does the price get higher faster, or does it never get below this line? I am saying that it will get below the line, and I wonder what will be the trajectory of the move out of this potential fourth wave here. Oh, come on. That would have been the that ABC pattern here. You see it, ABC of the fourth wave in this impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you want to know a bit more about that, if you want to know a bit more about that, I would say watch the video before the 6th of January, the longer one on the longer cycle count. Okay, I think that's about it. I don't really have much else to say around that trend line. I wanted to show that to you, and I think I've said almost all of it. I mean, it's just a trend line. It doesn't, it's not the same kind of trend line as, for example, a 0 to 2 or a 2 to 4 trend line, or a 0 to B, or a B to B trend line, sorry, I should say. So having said that, yeah, I don't know what kind of momentum it might be if as the price breaks below this, what it would be like coming back up. But there could be a little bit of time spent below. Maybe, I don't think it would be as long as this. And even that time spent below, part of it could be spent coming back up into the move. Now that would mean by November, we still wouldn't be back above the 60,000s, but that's reasonable. Maybe it's before that it starts going higher, whatever. Or again, maybe it's able to just jump right back higher at some point sooner. Anyway, that's just a thought about this trend line, this regression line on the daily price chart that reaches back through some significant zones of price action. And I want to bring your attention again to this time frame in 2017 when the price had come up after a big move up. It took a relatively big correction here. You know, I want to notice that a similarity to this impulse move up here and then a correction to what we're doing now, but this is just on a smaller degree. And yeah, on that sense, you get the price resistance, price support, and then it cuts through, and then it jumps right back up much quicker. Doesn't cut through that much, but it cuts through some. And yeah, so that's a thought, like how much will, so this is 2017 mid-cycle correction, as it's called lovingly. And if we go to where we are now and we consider that this is a significant trend line of support and resistance, as we've shown already through, you know, so here's that resistance and here's that support. And so, yeah, what is it going to look like? Is it going to be more of a V? Are we going to get through it anyway? Maybe it'll just support and then we're gone. You know, maybe our triangle is potentially still in play, possibly, but it looks less likely. Obviously, now that we're starting to look like something that looks more like an impulse rather than a 3, you know, to make another a C wave 3 for a triangle. Okay, I think I'm done now. I think we are done. Just something to consider. Do it on your own chart, see what you find, see what you think. Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's about it for now. The video has been a bit longer than I expected, but I think it's provided some decent thoughts in there. So talk to you next time. All right, we'll see what's happening. I'm going to bring out some weekly price charts for the altcoins, including Bitcoin and Komodo and Pirate Chain and others. All right. Until then, I am wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Okay, goodbye.